Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Health Recoded. I'm Alex, and today we're talking about something you've probably heard a lot about lately: GLP-1 medications. Drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound are all increasingly being prescribed to assist with weight loss. But what do they actually do inside your body? Today, we're going to explain GLP-1 agonist medications in simple terms, walking through the anatomy and the physiology behind them so that you guys can better understand why these medications work and why they're being prescribed for weight loss. The big picture: before we talk about the medications, we have to talk about the GLP-1 hormone itself. It's actually a naturally occurring hormone in the body. Your body already makes it, and it stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. We'll just keep calling it GLP because that's a long name. It's produced mainly in the gut, specifically in the small intestine, when you eat food. So it's a messenger. After you eat, it signals to your brain and your body, food is coming in, we need to handle this properly. So GLP-1 hormone affects multiple organs at the same time. After you eat, the food travels down your GI tract into your stomach, and incretins are released, which are these GLP or GIP hormones that we're talking about. These incretins go to work in the pancreas and helps the pancreas release insulin when blood sugar rises after the meal that you've just eaten. So at the same time, it also reduces the release of glucagon, which is a hormone that raises blood sugar. Incretins, or these GLP hormones, also work in the stomach. It slows down gastric emptying, meaning that food leaves your stomach more slowly and you feel fuller for longer. So essentially, all three of these things are working together: increased insulin release, reduced glucagon release, and delayed gastric emptying, which all helps to in turn reduce blood sugar. There's also an effect of GLP-1 hormone on the brain areas, especially in areas involved with appetite and satiety, but also cravings. So GLP-1 hormone sends a signal that says you've had enough to eat, and it kind of goes in hand with some of the fullness that I was talking about. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, particularly in areas such as the hypothalamus and the amygdala. So it helps to regulate appetite, reduce cravings, and it influences reward pathways in our brain, particularly with dopamine. So, with appetite and satiety, it signals to the hypothalamus specifically to reduce your food intake and promotes feelings of fullness and slows the stomach emptying so that you stop taking in more food. The reward system, it influences dopamine released in reward centers. So, it reduces motivation for addictive substances, um, such as alcohol or drugs, and it also decreases the desire for high calorie foods because it can alter your taste perception and your cravings. So you will want to eat less of like higher calorie foods such as fattier or sugarier foods, and maybe you'll get more of a metallic taste in your mouth. These are side effects more of the actual medication, but it just will alter your taste perception because it's actually having an effect in your brain. And then it also affects stress and emotion involved in. So, in the stress response and emotional regulation, it impacts the amygdala so that it helps kind of turn down that response. So, anatomically, with GLP-1 hormone, we haven't gotten to the medication technically. We're talking about the gut, the pancreas, the stomach, and the brain all communicating together to make this work. So, the short version: you eat a meal, your gut releases the GLP. This GLP hormone signals to your pancreas to release insulin, but only if blood sugar is elevated from your meal. Then it slows digestion down in the stomach, and it also tells your brain that you're getting full, and therefore you stop eating. So this helps to keep your blood sugar stable and prevent you from overeating. The problem is that in conditions like type 2 diabetes or long-term insulin resistance, this GLP-1 response doesn't work as effectively, which is where the medications actually start to come in. So what do GLP-1 medications actually do? GLP-1 medications are GLP-1 receptor agonists. That's a fancy way of saying that they mimic the action of your body's natural GLP-1 hormone, and they make it last much longer. Natural GLP-1 hormone only sticks around in your body for a few minutes, and these medications can actually stay active for hours or even days, depending on which one is being administered. So that means more consistent insulin release, slower stomach emptying, stronger satiety signals in the brain, and lower blood sugar spikes after meals. An important thing to note, though, is that they do not force your body to produce insulin. They just enhance a natural process that already exists, but only when it's needed in your body. So, why do people lose weight on GLP-1s? Weight loss isn't actually the primary function that GLP-1 medications were originally created and prescribed for. It's more of a side effect of the physiology. When patients were prescribed these medications, a side effect was weight loss, and so they've in turn kind of started to be able to be prescribed. Well, it's been going on for a while now, but be prescribed for weight loss instead. So when digestion slows and appetite fullness signals increase from this whole process that I've been talking about, people naturally eat less. Cravings decrease, portion sizes shrink, and as a result, you eat less and therefore you go into a calorie deficit and you lose weight. It then becomes less about willpower and it's more about altered signaling between your gut and your brain. So essentially, GLP-1 medications change the biological drive to eat and therefore the behavior. This also explains some of the common side effects that are experienced with GLP-1 medications, such as nausea. That will happen because of the delayed stomach emptying. Constipation or diarrhea can occur because of the gut motility changing. Um, Heartburn can happen because the food is staying in your stomach and in your digestion longer. So these effects are often strongest when starting the medications or when the dose is increased because your body is adjusting to this new dose and this higher dose of this happening in your body more often. So GLP-1s don't replace healthy habits and lifestyle changes. Adjustments in diet, such as eating whole foods, eating more fiber, getting adequate hydration, all of these things still have to occur in order to maintain healthy bodily function, but also to lose weight if that's the intended purpose of why you're taking these medications. They don't permanently fix your metabolism. An increase in physical activity and lifestyle changes still has to occur in order to see weight loss happen and to see healthy results. And unfortunately, they don't work the same for everyone. There is a class of people that has shown to be non-responders to these medications where even if they're taking the highest dose of the medication or they've been taking it for a while or they're doing all of these changes that I just talked about, they still don't really see an effect and don't see much weight loss occur. I don't know that we have enough data or research yet to really speak to why. I'd be interested to see if anybody knows, please say so, but I'd be interested to see if and when we start to get more research on these medications coming out because they are doing more on it, what the results of that might be. So ultimately, these medications are tools. They're not magic. It's not a magic catch-all to solve this problem, but their effectiveness does depend on the individual's physiology, lifestyle, and medical history too. So, to wrap up, ultimately understanding the anatomy and physiology behind GLP-1 hormone and the medication helps us to move away from any shame or misinformation that surrounds taking these medications. They work by restoring signals that are already naturally occurring in the body and help to regulate blood sugar and provide appetite control. So we can dive deeper into side effects and how to manage them and other things with GLP-1 medications in another episode. But for now, I just wanted to cover the basic physiology of why they work and how they work. So if this helped or if you have questions, please leave a comment, share it with a friend or with someone who's curious. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.